Welcome back to Beer, Bacon, and Bros. We are discussing the college football playoff picture as it stands right now, going into Week 10 of college football. Your top four teams, you have Georgia, Alabama, Michigan State, and Oregon. Fellas, how do y'all feel about it?
Oh, it's a crime, dude. It's an absolute crime. I'm telling
So
you right now, this fired me up so much.
You have undefeated Cincinnati at 6.
Yeah, I mean,
And a one-loss Ohio State at 5.
and that's fine. I mean, Michigan's 7-1. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you gotta be pissed off right now.
But you're 8.
You're 9-0. You've made the playoffs like
3 years.
80% of the time that we've had the playoffs, and you're 9-0. You're undefeated. You've beaten everybody you need to beat, and you're sitting here at 8th. Like, you know, how is 7-1 Oregon in here? How is Alabama at 7-1 in here? Like,
Well,
I think I did hear a, I guess not a good point, but a good comparison on ESPN earlier. It is the logo that you were seeing at the
100%.
Absolutely. It's not a cash cow to have Cincinnati in there. It's not a, Oklahoma should be up there. They don't want to let Wake Forest in there, undefeated Wake Forest either. It's just not as cash hungry.
Well, I mean, we can all agree that Georgia's going to be the unanimous number 1.
Yeah,
I mean, Georgia's unanimously number 1. We can all agree on that. Alabama's in there just because it's Alabama.
Correct.
They're going to have Alabama in because Alabama's going to bring the money. Alabama's going to bring the fans.
And that's
because out of these top 4 teams, Georgia, Alabama travel wherever they go.
But I'm saying 9-0 Oklahoma should at least be 2.
9-0 Oklahoma should be in the top 4.
Yeah. I say 2. Who?
Alabama shouldn't be 2. Alabama should be 3 or 4, but they're not going to do that because they want to keep Alabama. I bet you think they're putting Alabama at 2 because they know Bama's going to play Georgia in the SEC championship. That way they can drop them down to 4 in case they lose. But then you just have a Georgia-Alabama
rematch in the first play. I don't think there's any way that
if Alabama loses to Georgia, Alabama's probably out.
Yeah,
because they can't put a 2-loss Alabama team in when one loss has been to Georgia.
Ohio State may be 1 loss. Oregon's probably going to end up being 1 loss. Michigan State may be 1 loss.
Well,
I don't think you're going to see Michigan State in there. Michigan State is probably going to lose to Ohio State.
I say who they got left to play.
Michigan State's got to play Penn State and Ohio State.
Still left to play.
They're still in the last 4 weeks. They got to play Penn State and Ohio State.
That could be potentially 2 losses.
You could potentially see Michigan move up. I don't think you're going to because I don't think Michigan's
going
going
to
to
Ohio State still. Yeah.
I think you see Oklahoma should be up there.
Oh, I mean, Oklahoma's going to get through the rest of the Big 12, possibly. I mean, let's give credit. They can lose
Oregon State or Baylor.
Oregon State?
Not Oregon State, Oklahoma State, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you have the Oklahoma State matchup will be a telltale sign there.
Baylor's going to be a tough matchup for them.
Baylor could be a tough matchup for them. I mean, I just don't, if Oklahoma goes undefeated, there's no way you leave Oklahoma out.
You can't.
If Ohio State ends up winning out and ends up in the playoffs at 11-1, there's no way they're going to get left out. I actually don't think Bama
should make it.
First off, them leaving Cincinnati out of the playoffs right here means that they're not going to ever put Cincinnati in the playoffs. I mean, that's just that.
Well, if Cincinnati,
it depends. I think you can leave Cincinnati where they're at, so that way they have a chance to move up. Well, you put them at 3 or 4, they're not going to go. They're all going to fall out. And where they're at now, they can at least move up.
Yeah, but you're going to have Alabama beat Georgia, or Georgia beat Alabama,
which is a very great potential.
Ohio State's going to have to beat Michigan State. I still think they would put a 11-1 Michigan State in the playoffs before they would put Cincinnati in there.
It depends on Michigan State's loss.
Ohio State.
No, it depends on how bad it is.
Well, if that's the case,
I think what I learned about the way this current playoff committee is if you look at these rankings and you look at the teams that are in their rankings, it's all about your conference. These are all Power 5 conference people except for Cincinnati and BYU. Every single one of these people, except for Fresno State and San Diego State at the very bottom down there in the Mountain West. You have an undefeated UTSA who is 16th in the AP poll.
And they're not even
not ranked. Coastal, 21. They're 7-1 overall in the season. 21 in the AP poll, not ranked. Louisiana Lafayette, 24th in the AP poll, 7-1 in the season.
No, I agree.
Not ranked.
No, I agree.
You got a 5-3 Mississippi State team in here year, who's not even ranked in the AP poll, is 17th.
No, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
It's atrocious, man. I mean, what they're treating Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to the Big 12 in 2 years. I mean, so in 2 years when they get in the Big 12, if they're in the top 5 and they're undefeated, are they going to make it in the playoffs then, or are they going to treat them again like they're still in the American?
It's the money, man.
It's the playoffs.
It's the money.
It's the playoffs. Nobody wants to see Michigan State come in here, get blown out by Georgia, just like the last time they got into the college football playoffs. Not by Georgia, of course, but
Michigan State hasn't been in the college playoffs.
Yes, they have.
When?
Like 2013.
The first one? 14?
Yeah, 14. Maybe it was 14.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
It might have been the very first one then.
Same thing for Oregon. Last time Oregon was in the playoffs,
They got
blown out. This Oregon team will get blown out by anyone. Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, they might get blown out by Michigan State. I own Oregon in our college fantasy league, and they are atrocious. They were one play away from losing to Cal. So they should have 2 losses at this point, and there's nobody left in the Pac-12 to even beat them.
They've already played UCLA and they've already played USC.
Yeah.
So
it's seriously atrocious. Look. I know it's a different team. I understand that there are different players on the Georgia team this year, but look at the bowl game last year between Georgia and Cincinnati. Cincinnati was up literally 21-10 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, they blew a 2-touchdown lead and they lost the game. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, they were 3 points away from beating Georgia in a bowl game last year.
And what? That was a New Year's Six bowl.
That was a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, the Peach Bowl were.
They told Cincinnati, hey, you got to go play better teams out of your conference. You got to have somebody else in your conference in the conference championship game to be, somebody, right? You got to have somebody to face that's ranked on your conference championship game. They went to Indiana. They went to Notre Dame. I mean, I don't know where Notre Dame's 10th in the college football playoff ranking right now. So they've beaten 2, I would call them Big Ten teams. Obviously, Notre Dame's independent.
Power 5
Power 5 schools on the road. They've dominated their conference. They beat Navy by a touchdown. I get that. Navy's a ball controlling team. They like to run the clock.
Everybody does that with Navy.
There's very small possessions.
Anybody that plays the triple option teams always has that. South Carolina struggles against them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody struggles against the triple option.
He can speak to it. He watched it for 4 years in college.
Well, yeah, you're not.
The time of possession is so skewed in those games that you have to capitalize.
It's 3-1.
You have to capitalize as the other team.
You have to
score touchdowns when you get the ball. You can't win by field, especially if it's a good triple option team.
Yeah. Right, like a Navy or
Georgia Tech back in
or Georgia Tech back in the good days.
Yeah. But here's the other problem. One of the things Cincinnati had to do, you have to play a ranked opponent in your conference championship, so that last week it kind of gives you a little nudge, right?
They got SMU and they got Houston.
SMU not ranked. Houston not ranked.
SMU what?
In the playoffs.
Both of these teams are 1-loss teams. They're in the top 25 in the AP poll. They're not ranked in the playoff committee ranking.
Which means they're
not going to credit them.
There's no reason a 5-3 Mississippi State team should be.
Hell, why is Wisconsin at 5-3 in the number 21 in the country?
There's no reason why you should have a 3-loss team, especially inside the top 20.
I like Pitt.
Wait a minute. Wait. So they don't even have Penn State in there, do they?
No, Penn State's not even in their rankings.
And they beat Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And Penn State is a 6-2 team.
Yeah. Minnesota, who is 6-2, by the way, not beating
lost to fucking Bowling Green.
Lost to Bowling Green and hadn't beaten a single ranked opponent.
No.
But because they're in the Big Ten and they're Minnesota, they're number 20 in the country. Right?
And they lost to Bowling Green.
I like Pitt, but they've lost some early. Hell, they lost to Western Michigan.
Yeah.
6-2, but they're number 25.
And they just lost this last weekend.
I don't get it, man.
There's a lot of, what is it called? Group of 5 schools?
Power 5 schools.
Group of 5 schools.
Group of 5 schools are left out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
which is like your Cincinnati is your group of 5.
Yeah, your Cincinnati's your
Notre Dame would be
BYU.
Houston.
BYU, Houston.
Coastal.
Yeah.
Those
GSA is undefeated. They're seriously, how atrocious is that? They're 16th in the AP poll.
8-0.
8-0, not ranked at all in the playoff committee.
They should only be in the top 20.
It mainly because of
Conference America opponents.
Their strength of schedule isn't the same.
Conference USA, yeah.
Isn't the same as a
Georgia, Alabama.
Of course it's not.
Y'all's opinion, what is it going to take to get Cincinnati in those top 4?
You're going to have to see Alabama lose, and you're gonna have to see Oregon lose. You're gonna have to see one of those two teams lose. Ohio State's probably gonna make it.
I really don't think Michigan State's gonna make it.
Cincinnati's got to win out and win, of course, and win the conference.
Yeah.
They have to go undefeated to even be considered. And if they are considered, it would be like a 4 spot. Because even if Ohio State wins and Alabama's out, Ohio State moves to say 2.
Yeah.
Oklahoma goes undefeated. They sit at 3. But then you have an undefeated Cincinnati who should be sitting at 4.
Really, honestly.
Really, the best case for Cincinnati would be for Michigan to go in and beat Ohio State, get Ohio State out completely, and then.
Well, no, because as soon as this happens, they'll jump up to like the 4 spot.
Yeah.
Right, but Michigan.
Cincinnati could win out.
Cincinnati should at least move up to 5 at that point because you're going to drop Michigan.
They'll flip Michigan.
No, I know. Yeah, they'll put Michigan. Well, I don't know.
If that was the case, I could see if a 7 beat 5 in this scenario, Michigan would jump up to like 4 or 5. Ohio State would fall back. Cincinnati might even fall back depending on how the rest of the week went.
Yeah. Are Michigan State the same side of that Big Ten conference?
Yeah, they've already played Michigan.
No. I know, but I didn't know if they're on the same side, they could potentially
meet
each other.
all of this faces each other. Wisconsin right now and Minnesota are battling for the other side of the conference.
Was that the West?
Yeah, so it's not going to matter.
So I mean, really for me, when I'm looking at it, you got Georgia guaranteed pretty much. I mean, even if Alabama,
even Georgia goes in and loses the SEC championship, Georgia remains the top.
Yeah, I agree.
So really, for Cincinnati fans, I hate to say this, you got to have Alabama lose to Georgia in the SEC championship game. You're going to have Michigan State lose to Ohio State. You're going to have Oregon lose, and to be honest with you, you're probably going to end up having to have Oklahoma lose at some point too, because what I'd be afraid of, you're going to get Georgia at 1. You're probably going to get Ohio. If Oklahoma goes undefeated, I bet you get Oklahoma at 2, Ohio State 3. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try and fit the 2-loss Oregon, the 1-loss Michigan State, or even...
They're still going to try to put a 2-loss Alabama in.
Yeah, or even a 2-loss Alabama.
They're still going to put a 2-loss Alabama.
See, that's what I'm saying.
What if Wake wins out and goes and wins the ACC?
Yeah, but who they beat?
Didn't beat anybody.
Well, Cincinnati fans, I hate to say it, you're getting screwed right now. It's going to end up happening. They're going to put the biggest names in there. They're trying to get the most TV revenue. They don't care if we got to watch Oregon get blown out by 40 by Georgia. They just think that it's going to draw a crowd. So Cincinnati fans, we'll keep up with you. We'll see what happens. We may be reacting to another one of these videos in the next couple of weeks. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
If you like what you see, make sure you click the subscribe button, share, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and if you got something you want to say, please leave it in the comments. We are happy to hear it.